How to enforce multi-factor authentication for all users of your Office 365 subscription. 7 to 8 minutes. Office 365 logo. Multi-factor authentication, MFA, is a great security tool, and we always recommend it. Office 365 admins can enforce MFA for users, which means you can help protect anyone sharing your Office 365 business subscription. To do this, you'll need to be an Office 365 administrator, which only happens with a business plan. If your Office 365 subscription comes as part of a domain hosting package, then you'll have access to the admin console. However, if you've just purchased a personal subscription or home subscription for your family, then you won't have access to the admin console, and you can only turn MFA on for yourself. If you're not sure, click the Office 365 app launcher and look for the admin tile. The admin tile on the O365 app launcher. If it's there, you've got access to the admin console. Click the admin tile, and on the menu on the left-hand side, click Settings greater than Services and Add-ins. The Services and Add-ins option in the admin menu. This opens the Services and Add-ins page, where you can make various tenant level changes. One of the top items will be Azure Multi-Factor Authentication. The Azure Multi-Factor Authentication option. Click this, and on the panel that opens on the right, click Manage Multi-Factor Authentication. The Azure Multi-Factor Authentication link. This will take you to the multi-factor authentication page. You can immediately turn MFA on for anyone who is using your Office 365 subscription. But before that, it's best to acquaint yourself with the default settings. To do this, click Service Settings. The Service Settings tab. You can change whatever settings you like, or leave them as the defaults. One potential setting to look at changing is whether or not MFA can be remembered on a device. By default, this is off, but turning it on means your family won't have to go through the MFA process every time they want to check their email or edit a document. If you switch this on, the default number of days a device can go before having to re-authenticate is 14. Which means a phone, tablet, computer will be trusted for 14 days before the user has to go through the MFA process again. Having to go through the MFA process is simple, but having to do it every 2 weeks on every device that your family uses might still be a bit too much, and you have the option to set this as high as 60 days. If you do make any changes to this or any other settings, click Save at the bottom to the panel to save the changes. Then click Users to go back to turning on MFA. The Service Settings, Options and the Users tab. Now that you've made sure the settings are right, you can enable MFA for each user. Select the users for whom you want to turn MFA. The Users table with a selected user. To the right of the table of users, click the Enable option that appears. The Enable option. On the confirmation screen, click Enable Multi-Factor Authentication. The Enable Multi-Factor Authentication button. This will enable MFA for the user, and the next time they log in to Office 365 on the web, they'll have to go through a process of setting up MFA. If they don't log in very often, or you want to make sure you're around to help them through the process, you can also send them the link from the confirmation screen so that they can set up MFA at a time that suits them. The link is which is the same for everyone setting up MFA. Once you've clicked Enable Multi-Factor Authentication, you'll see a success message, which you can close. The Updates Successful dialog. MFA is now enabled for the user. Now, they need to set it up. Whether they wait until the next time they log in, or they use the link we mentioned above, the process for setting up MFA is exactly the same. Log into your Office 365 account as normal, and a screen will be displayed telling you that your organization needs more information to keep your account secure. The start of the O365 login process. Click Next to be taken to the Additional Security Verification panel, where you can choose your MFA method. We always recommend using an authenticator app, and you'll have to use Microsoft Authenticator with Office 365. Even using MFA via SMS is still better than not having MFA at all. So choose the method that works best for you in the first dropdown. The additional security verification panel. We're going to use a mobile app, which will change the available configuration options. First, you need to choose whether to receive notifications for verification, which means a message will pop up on the Microsoft Authenticator app on your phone asking you to approve or deny a login to your account, or whether to use verification code, which means you'll have to enter a code generated by the Microsoft Authenticator app on your phone when you log in to Office 365. Either works fine, and it's up to you what you choose. After this, you need to click the Set Up button to set up the app. Radio buttons to choose the contact method. At this point, a panel will appear telling you to install the Microsoft Authenticator app on your phone and then either scan a QR code or, if you can't scan the QR code, enter a code and URL instead. Once you've done this, click Next to go back to the additional security verification window, which will show that the activation status is being checked. The Checking Activation Status message. This may take a few seconds. And once it's finished, the message will change to show that MFA has been configured. The successful MFA configuration message. Click Next. An Office 365 will check that everything is working. Depending on what option you selected for verification, it will either send a deny or approve message to your app, or ask you to enter a code from the app. In this example, it sent a deny or approve message and is waiting for a response. A message displayed while waiting for you to respond to the test notification. After you've verified that MFA is working, you will be asked for a phone number in case you lose access to the app. The mobile phone number text field. This phone number will be used as backup to use SMS or voice calls in the event that you can't use the Microsoft Authenticator app, such as when you haven't got Wi-Fi, or you've run out of data on your monthly plan, and you're out and about. It could also be used if you've lost your phone, so you might want to choose the number of a family member instead of your own. Once you've entered a number, click Next to see the final screen, the app password text box, and Finished button. This page includes a Microsoft-generated password that it will recognize as being created for MFA use. You'll need to use this password now on rather than the one you normally use. In all of the following apps: Outlook desktop app for your PC or Mac. Email apps, except the Outlook app, on an iOS, Android or BlackBerry device. Office 2010. Office for Mac 2011 or earlier. Windows Essentials, Photo Gallery, Movie Maker, Mail, Zune desktop app, Xbox 360, Windows Phone 8 or earlier. The next time you try to open any of these apps, they'll ask for your password. So copy it down from here and use it when asked. We can verify that Outlook on your computer needs to use the generated password, but the Outlook app on your phone doesn't. And yes, we find that odd as well. But it's not a great hardship. Click Finished, and you'll be taken back to the login screen to log in as normal. But this time using MFA. It's a simple, quick process that provide a valuable layer of extra security, and one that we at How to Geek strongly recommend.